Who are these guys? Who are all these people? What are all these random commentators making videos about? Like, you're still following an abuser. You're still following an abuser on Instagram. So goofy. Yep. I mean, that's based. That's based.
You say in your videos.
I totally agree with that. Dude, there's no like that. Those messages were nothing. Those messages were nothing. I feel like he's kind of being sneaky there with that characterization that these are the only 3 videos about abuse. Ooh. Okay. I wonder if Katie's got this cool. She seemed to allude to the idea that she could maybe possibly have it. So I would want to hear this call released. I want this call released. What do you mean? Yes, no, right. Everyone, you can post whatever you want online. Please double down. If this guy does not double down on the Lola Bunny comment, I am retracting any and all support I had for DankyJabo. No! 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 Yeah, I don't think I buy that. So this guy, DankyJabo, okay. DankyJabo, this guy was an editor for I'm Alex. He got in good with I'm Alex. I'm Alex taught him how to do YouTube, and he became big. He now makes awful slop commentary content where he pretends that Smart Schoolboy 9 has the intellectual capacity to be like a master manipulator. Now, Katiclyzm, who is like a left-leaning radfem, I guess, commentary creator, got very upset about the fact that he was still following I'm Alex and confronted him about in DMs, and he joked around that she said, "Why are you following an abuser?" And he said, "Sorry, I'll unfollow the annoying orange right now." Obviously making a joke, saying that the annoying orange is abusive or something. I don't know, it's some stupid quirky joke. But she got super upset about this and was like, this guy's downplaying abuse. And what's worse than that, this guy, in one of his videos, he used a racist, misogynistic term, beef curtains. And she did a whole stream about this and totally blew him up. And another guy, this guy called Mcclung, who uses a fan. He puts a fan next to his camera so that when he gets close to his camera in his videos, his hair blows in the wind. You might see it at some point in this video. He made a video going over all this and laying into DankyJabo. And in the course of this video, he added a few extra attacks. One of them, he got very upset that DankyJabo had insulted the hippo from Madagascar, Gloria the hippo from Madagascar, had insulted her and derided her for her promiscuity and obsession with men, which was just frankly, it was disgusting. I was shaken watching this Mcclung video. But one thing's even worse that he did, what's even worse, is he said that Space Jam 2 sucks because Lola Bunny's character design is ugly and her tits are small. Now, I'm sure we can all agree that there's nothing but truth to that statement. He was spitting, but they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it, so they're trying to kill him. A bit like Emmett Till. And DankyJabo is fighting back. Okay, guys? DankyJabo is fighting back. So we're going to watch his response, and then we're going to watch Mcclung's response to his response. So let's get into it.
I'm going to address this situation.
A knee on his neck. A knee on the neck. A knee on both of the arms, each one of them digging deeper into the... Okay.
Because it's all based on petty, baseless gossip and huge lies that frankly weren't worth responding to. But recently it's become so much bigger than I ever thought it would, so I figured I'd set the record straight. For the last few months, I've been the target of a harassment campaign from Mcclung and...
Ooh, harassment campaign! Take your knee off my neck. A harassment campaign. Now, I don't agree with that framing. That's very stupid, isn't it?
I figured I'd set the record straight. For the last few months, I've been the target of a harassment campaign from Mcclung and Katiclyzm. They've been lying about me both privately and publicly and passing off huge false assumptions as fact when there is no evidence to support them. The two main claims that they make are that I'm a misogynist and that I'm supporting an abuser. In Lewis's video, he details all of the supposed allegations.
The accusations against DankyJabo, aka Jesse, go as follows. Lying to your audience, using hateful, derogatory speech towards women, silencing those who
How does that that homosexual guy have 315,000 subs? Because there's just no justice in the world. There's just no justice. Nothing. Not good things are punished. Good deeds are punished. And being an awful, evil, skinwalker, fake person, fake individual, not real, simulacra of the "I won't rape you" wife guy is rewarded. You're given a 6-figure income if you just sit there going, "Oh, I promise I won't rape you. I promise I won't rape you."
Against you and lying to and manipulating your audience, those who hold you as sanctity. Honestly,
all of these allegations are either lies or baseless assumptions based on nothing but pure conjecture. For those who are unaware, I used to edit for I'm Alex. Me and Alex were not friends during this period, and it was purely a business relationship. In fact, the last time that I ever spoke to the man was when I received my last payment from him 6 months ago. Despite this, Mcclung and Katiclyzm have made it out.
Now, he's claiming this. I don't know that I believe him. And I'll say why. Katiclyzm, in her stream, says that she had a private call with this guy where he said that he didn't want to totally bury Alex because Alex gave him a career and he still had respect for him. I can totally see that being real. Like, that makes sense to me that he would feel that way. I wouldn't even blame him for feeling that way. I think it's fine to feel that way. You should probably, if it's part of your brand to call out abusers and this stuff, you probably should address it. Like, you know, make a video on it or something on your channel. Because otherwise it does look like you're covering for your friends. But I don't have an issue if he still respects the guy. If he did a lot for him. There's you know, people have different parts of their life, you know. This guy wasn't in a relationship with him. He can say, yeah, that was terrible stuff that he did, but he did a lot for me. That's totally, you know, he can still be a terrible guy and have done a lot for him. But Katiclyzm said she didn't have a recording of this call. So this guy is basically free to say whatever he wants about this call. Well, she wasn't going to release it or something. She didn't have it anymore, I think she said. I don't necessarily believe her account of the conversation. I don't necessarily believe it. I probably lean towards it. I think it would be insane to just make up that detail. It didn't seem like she'd made anything else up. She was presenting it, well, didn't present evidence, but the evidence was there for the rest of her claims. But the reality is that there is a claim from the other side that already contests this idea, where they've said there's no evidence. So each side is basically free to say whatever they want about the interaction.
As though me and Alex were, and continue to be, close friends, and that I'm even being mentored by him. Obviously, there is no evidence to support this because it's not true, so the two resort to grasping at straws, lying, and making things up to pass me off as an abuse apologist. One of the only pieces of evidence that they show are that our thumbnails are similar.
you can even tell the blatant mentoring through the exact same thumbnail design. They use the exact same
everyone
thumbnail design.
uses.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just
All of you use this thumbnail design.
more proof that he mentored him or taught him his ways.
I mean, these are just YouTube thumbnails. It's ridiculous that these can be counted as any type of evidence that me and him have some sort of relationship. And by the way, this is also a point made by both Katiclyzm and an actual old friend of Alex and Jake Baz, who was previously featured on his channel before.
When Alex stopped posting because of everything that happened, Jesse then started posting very much in the style of Alex, with Alex's thumbnails, etc., etc.
Coincidentally, your thumbnails seems to be only since he's quit. Your thumbnails have started getting a lot more like Alex's, which is weird. Why would you only just?
Dude, they're all just they're all just spitballing that Alex works for this guy. Dude, okay, this is pretty shameful. Fucking just random speculation, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Start doing that now, coincidentally, when he stops uploading.
However, the great irony of this point is that the very thumbnails on the streams that my thumbnails are being criticized on are the exact thumbnail style that somehow prove that Alex is mentoring me. And not only that, but Katiclyzm still continues to use the very thumbnails that she's criticizing me for to this day. By that logic, is she also being mentored by Alex? No. Obviously not, because it's just a YouTube thumbnail. And like I said, I haven't spoken to Alex since my last payment from him. He has nothing to do with my channel. Another ridiculous piece of evidence that they use is that I still follow I'm Alex's Instagram account.
Also, what some people have noticed, which is what Katie alluded to in a video as well, is that DankyJabo is still following Alex.
Who are these guys? Who are all these people? What are all these random commentators?
True. If I had a look earlier before the stream, so DankyJabo is
Making videos being like, you're still following an abuser? You're still following an abuser on Instagram? So goofy.
Following Alex, and he's still followed by Alex as well. So they're still around each other. That's what I do know.
Apparently, and still now, Jesse followed and still follows I'm Alex.
Now, DankyJabo was still following Alex.
A follow could mean anything. It does not mean an endorsement. Katiclyzm, your friend Alice still follows Lewis Bucket on Instagram, who you've publicly called out on your channel before.
I'm just annoyed because why is the commentary scene full of absolute fucking...
Wait, what?
Your friend Alice still follows Lewis Bucket on Instagram, who you've publicly called out on your channel before.
I'm just annoyed.
Lewis Bucket.
Wait, he's calling out Alice, the girl who accused Alex? Oh my god, this guy's...
Instagram, who you've publicly called out on your channel before.
I'm just
I wasn't
annoyed
familiar with your game.
Why is the commentary scene full of absolute fucking morons? Lewis Buchan, you're a fucking idiot. You're a creep. Get offline. I hate you, and you should not be online, you dirty scumbag. They just don't deserve platforms, do they? They don't. They fucking don't.
So does this mean that Alice and Lewis Buchan are close friends and that she's endorsing everything that he's done? I personally don't think so. The next piece of evidence they use is a DM that Katiclyzm leaked of me making a joke.
And someone reached out to be like, hey, is there a reason you're still following an abuser? And many people will say this is petty, all right? Who cares about who's following who? But the reasoning they had more concern is because DankyJabo was previously I'm Alex's editor. So you can already see there's a little bit of concern to be had there. Without jumping to conclusions, there's some concern to be had. And DankyJabo basically responded, taking the piss out of the situation as if it was nothing.
Because one of Alice's friends decided to reach out to him and ask why, if it was an accident, if he meant to unfollow him, or if he just didn't know what was going on, which was unlikely, and is still unlikely, and is very impossible now. Is there any reason you still follow and work for an abusive piece of shit? They're talking about Alex, and there's nobody else they could be talking about. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm not doing an accent. I'm not, you can't, no. I'm sorry, mate. I'll unfollow the annoying orange right now. So you defend abusers. I'm Alex, and work for them. And that means they said it there. That means you can't ignore it. That means, yeah, maybe they could have meant something else. Maybe they could have meant the annoying orange. I don't know.
Why is this loser, the one American, butting his head in? This is British affairs, okay? Keep out.
I mean, the annoying orange was an abusive prick. I wasn't part of the show. I don't know. But the response will baffle you.
Of course he's a gayest one, too.
I would never defend or support the annoying orange. He gaslights all the fruit in the kitchen. How dare you accuse me of such a thing?
Now let's be clear here. It's very obvious that this person was not messaging me just to inquire, as Lewis states. This is a complete stranger who was getting hostile with me in my DMs off the bat, and I was honestly sick of people messaging me about my former boss whom I have no involvement with. It's very egotistical and narcissistic to say that people have to take random adversarial DMs seriously, and that if they don't, that they're covert abusers. People aren't actually required to take you seriously if you DM them out of the blue demanding answers despite you being a complete stranger. Now, with that being said, obviously what I should have done is ignore it, and I'll admit it was wrong of me not to. But I made this joke to mock the person for sending me this DM and to imply that it's any more than that is simply unfair.
How hard is it to just carry what...
Yep. I mean, that's based. That's based.
You say in your videos into
I totally agree with that. There's no, like, those messages were nothing. Those messages were nothing.
Life. And if DankyJabo, Jesse, had done that, he would not have replied being like, I would never, like, follow the annoying.
I was supposed to... There was some guy in my comments that was going to call in today, or was saying that he would call in if he got a minute away from his girlfriend, who was telling me that if you're still friends with someone after they do something bad, you're endorsing their bad behavior. You have to cut your friends off if they do something you don't like, or that falls foul of your morals. It's so... Where have people gotten this belief from? It's so stupid. Dude, you can be friends with a mass murderer if you want to, okay? Obviously, you shouldn't say mass murder's good, help them evade police, help them kill people. Obviously, you shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean you have to sign off or help them on the things they do. In fact, you can be actively antagonistic towards perhaps the bad things that they do. But you can talk to them. You can have a relationship with them. What's the problem with that? Literally, what is the problem with that? It makes no sense. It's like you're beholden to the internet's perception of your friendship, because maybe it might imply that you think what they did isn't that bad, even if you've outwardly said it is that bad, it's really terrible, what they did is super fucked up. Exactly. If he was still friends with Alex, I would expect a video on Alex. He does videos on all these abuse situations. I would expect a video on Alex. That would be consistent. That would show his coverage isn't totally fucking worthless a little bit. That he has some kind of standards. But what he does offline, still talking to the guy, what would be the problem with that? I don't understand.
Orange. Like, you would have just been like, yeah, maybe I should take abuse seriously considering my channel and my bills are built upon talking about abuse. It's virtue signaling. It is. It is.
I made one joke about the annoying orange, and now you're trying to paint my entire channel out to be manipulative, disingenuous, and virtue signaling, and label me as a misogynist who defends and supports abuse.
Yeah, it's an easy follow. I'm confused on how so many of you are also confused. Alex is an abuser. DankyJabo worked for him previously and is now defending him. It's really... I fear it's not that hard.
No, I am not, and I never have defended him. A follow on Instagram and a joke about the annoying orange do not count as a defense. You have no actual evidence of this claim because it's very obviously not true. Lewis and Katie also tried to make it seem as though I was being willfully manipulated by Alex.
It comes from content creation where every relationship is actually just about networking and success. Yeah, it's just like a retarded internet, like, clout perspective, isn't it? It's just only people on the internet could think that way, truly, because everyone knows in real life, everyone with any amount of social experience has had friends and maintained relationships with people who have done bad things, people that you would look at and say, wow, that was pretty fucked up, that thing you did. That was a little bit too far. That doesn't mean you have to fucking defend them. That doesn't mean you are defending them, but you can maintain the relationship. There's not a problem there.
Apparently made him feel as though he owed Alex some gratitude. If you ask me, that sounds like you're willingly let somebody manipulate you, but that might just be me.
A lot of people worked alongside Alex. Alex knew what he was doing to an extent. You have to give him that. People wanted Alex's help, and from what I've heard, Alex did help a lot of people, and people felt obliged to stick by him. And I do think this is definitely a form of manipulation, and I don't necessarily blame every single person who feels iffy about saying anything about Alex because they've helped him, but standing by somebody who has been outed as an abuser or who you know is an abuser just because Alex has done, for example, a little bit for you and helped your career, you're a scumbag, you're an enabler, and you don't genuinely believe in what you're talking about. A little example I have here is I received a screenshot from Alice, which was one of Alice's friends in contact with a content creator called DankyJabo.
I wasn't being exploited, I was working a job and being paid for my work. And it was in an industry that I've always wanted to be a part of, so I was grateful for the opportunity. I edited his YouTube videos, and he paid me. I was an employee. That was all that was happening. To try and paint it out as though there was something inherently corrupt going on here is just strange and inaccurate. I worked for him remotely, we never even met personally, he paid me, and we barely spoke. There was really nothing more interesting going on than that.
He's being a dickhead, a doofus, even kind of a, you know, intolerable cringe bastard, but that's fine, you're right. The problem is that he makes almost only content.
Like, who is this guy to call anyone an intolerable cringe bastard?
Entirely, almost exclusively.
How are you saying that? No, this guy's not FTM. No, guys, this is just a dude.
On content about either women being abused or abusive women. Like that.
Yeah, can you see the fan? He's got a fan by his camera.
That's fine, you're right. The problem is that he makes almost only content, almost entirely, almost exclusively on content about either women being abused or abusive.
I think it's because he's black. Lewis is clearly racist. I am saying this is an Emmett Till situation, I feel. Very similar, like Emmett Till for the digital age.
Women. Like, that's, if you scroll down, in the past 6 months, that's it.
This is ridiculous to try and paint my channel in a way where I only cover abusive relationships, and then go on to show a screenshot where only one of the 16 videos shown is about an abusive relationship, and to show that video twice in the same screenshot to make it look more like I cover them exclusively is so blatantly manipulative and hypocritical when you're calling me out for being a manipulative hypocrite. Of the 42 commentary videos that I have made thus far, only 3 of them are about abusive relationships. So to claim that this is the only type of content that I make is just one of the
well, abusive relationships.
Johnny Gilbert has recently come under fire for what many people are calling a grossly inappropriate relationship with Stranger Things star Grace Van Dien.
Well, okay, but a lot of them are about that sort of thing though, aren't they? Like, these might be the only ones that are strictly abusive relationships, but it's like, you've got stuff about grooming, stuff about abusive parents. Like, I feel like he's kind of being sneaky there with that characterization that these are the only 3 videos about abuse.
Are about abusive relationships. So to claim that this is the only type of content that I make is just one of the many lies that have been levied against me. Lewis and Katiclyzm.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think saying that you mainly cover abusive situations is probably fair, actually.
I've also said on a live stream.
From what I can see, that does seem like a fair characterization. This is gay and dumb.
I have talked openly about being taught by Alex.
Then you have to understand that abusive people are not those to coddle. They're not those to, you know, hold dear. They're people to, sure, talk with and understand, but not to forgive, not to work with and take advice from. Because according to him, and in certain situations, he might still be taking tutelage.
You can't work with abusive people, so if your McDonald's manager beats his wife, do you have to quit? What?
I'm Alex, which is a big issue.
What do you mean, according to me? When have I ever said anything that might even slightly suggest that I've been receiving tutelage from him? The answer is never.
I'm sorry, but if someone's abusive, try and sell it through the proper channels and do what you can to prevent harm. The idea that you can't work for them? You can't take work if someone's abusive? Dude, like what? How many CEOs and fucking managers and shit in the world do you think are abusive? And you have to not work for any of them.
Which is why neither Lewis nor Katiclyzm ever give any examples, because it's not true. I need to make it so incredibly clear. I have not spoken to this man since my last payment from him, which in and of itself was a completely standard business conversation, as he owed me money for the work that I had done on his channel. I genuinely have no idea what the two of them could be referring to here. He even says that me and Alex must be in contact because we have the same editing style.
Right?
Sure, that's probably...
thumbnail design.
If
they have the same content design, they do the same editing technique.
That would be... Well,
problem.
well, the whole similar content style, I mean, that's how all these types of communities work in general. Like, there's usually a community, and then everybody copies the same style.
Similar. It's almost the same.
Maybe it's because I was his fucking editor. Obviously, the edits are gonna be the same. I was the one doing both of them. We make commentary videos. None of us are exactly reinventing the wheel here.
The problem is he's making this content, and then this is how he actually treats a case that he is involved with, involving the abuse of a woman. Do you not see the problem there?
The only reason I am now involved in this is because you are insisting that I know these people when I worked for Alex briefly and I didn't know Alice at all. If it wasn't for your input, then I still would have nothing to do with any of this. You've made this a problem by making things up to get mad at, and you've been doing that the whole time. Katie even says this on her stream as justification for why she had to confront me.
But there are still speculation that he...
I need to make sure that I archive Lewis's stream.
The only reason the speculation exists now is because of you. There were no rumors about any of this before you started harassing me publicly.
But Katiclyzm was approached by Jessie not too long ago. I think it was also about 5 to 6 months ago when she was approached by Jessie, and Jessie wanted to talk with her, okay?
I'm seeing YouTube drama posts. Apparently it's rough. Apparently it's really bad.
They made similar content, they had similar subcounts, this is her words. And so he asked to call her, which if you ask me, calling people has a stigma around it for a reason. You can just text people, man. If there's no reason to call, like if it's not urgent or anything, there shouldn't be any reason.
If there's something inherently wrong with calls, then why do you want to do an interview with me like you state later on in your video?
Come on my show. Come on here. I will interview you unbiasedly. I will ask you questions. That is what I will do, okay? I'm offering you this proposition.
This is just such a reach. I messaged her because she followed me and we were at similar sizes. All I did was go, hey man, we should hop on a call sometime. For you to try and paint this as something nefarious is incredibly disingenuous.
You were trying to hit.
And manipulative.
He mansplained how to be a better YouTuber to Katiclyzm for like 2.5 hours. And then, at the end of those 2 hours, apparently Katiclyzm jumped on the opportunity to ask him why he said the annoying orange bullshit, into which he hung up, ran away, and unfollowed her.
I don't know what Katiclyzm told you, but this is not what happened at all. The call was not 2.5 hours long. I have it right here. It was 40 minutes. And you claim that at the end of the call I ran away when the screenshot was brought up. No, I explained exactly to Katiclyzm what I've been explaining to you this video. That I edited for Alex, that I was grateful for the opportunity that he gave me, that we were never friends, and I haven't spoken to him in months. This part of the call was conveniently left out of her retelling of events, however. Now this would be a my word against your scenario. I've been explaining to you this video. That I edited for Alex, that I was grateful for the opportunity that he gave me, that we were never friends, and I haven't spoken to him in months. This part of the call was conveniently left out of her retelling of events, however. however. Now, this would be a my word against your scenario, but there's actual evidence for this. When the call ended, Katiclyzm messaged me saying this: "Yo, thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it. If you ever want to join call with us, feel free. Gives you a chance to talk to more people. Kiss." Do those sound like the words of somebody who just got abruptly hung up on? I personally don't think so. I'm very concerned that these YouTubers have made videos
very interesting.
Based purely on gossip and baseless accusations with no evidence of how the conversations they say went down actually went down. I didn't join Katie's call with her friends, and now they've all gone and made negative videos on me, which were not reflected by the message Katie's call with her friends. And now they've all gone.
Okay, I wonder if Katie's got this call. She seemed to allude to the idea that she could maybe possibly have it. So I would want to hear this call released. I want this call released.
And made negative videos on me, which were not reflected by the messages that I was receiving at the time. At this point, she had unfollowed me on Instagram, and I just really did not think that it was a big deal at all. In my mind, if she had unfollowed me, it'd probably just be best if I had unfollowed her, just as I told her in the DMs that she ended up leaking.
Can we call real quick? I know why you want to call. You don't want it to be in text message so that she can't screenshot it, so that she can't prove to the world that you might not do as you preach. You sly bastard. You thought you could just hide around being kind of a quirky, weird dude. You know, somebody you might just call because they don't like the text. No, 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 no. You don't want the chance of there being receipts out there. That's even more weird. That's even worse. Oh my God. Oh,
it's not about the kiss. It's not about the kiss. That wasn't really the point. The point is that she claims she got abruptly hung up on at the end of a call after asking a question, and that clearly does not seem to be the case. Because why, if you just got abruptly hung up on after asking an important question, would you then be like, "Hey, feel free to call me anytime. You can jump in a call with me and my friends if you ever want to. If you want just hang out." That doesn't make any sense. Why you would respond like that?
Even worse, dude. You can't just... I'm glad I pieced that together because I don't think anybody's made that point yet. Yeah, Detective Louis Mcclung.
You're right. Nobody has made this point before. Maybe because it's dog shit. It's very obvious that some people prefer calls because they're just quicker and more convenient. It's perfectly fine to ask for a call, as you have literally done in this video. You're using the fact that I tried to call someone as some sort of weird manipulation tactic, despite the fact...
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. This is a little bit of a... Yeah, no, I don't believe him here. Because he did delete his messages too. Like, he goes, "I'm going to delete my messages now." No, I think he prefers calls because it's just, like, less likely that there's a record.
Fact that I later immediately agreed to text instead. It's just another one of your many baseless accusations.
Bro, I was trying to tell you that screenshot...
Yeah, you did when pressured. Yeah. No, I don't buy this. I don't buy this. Whatever, it's fine.
Orange stuff is you blatantly mocking abuse. And you came to me, out of all people who, if you, which you clearly had, been on my channel, you'd realize I've been abused too.
I spoke to Katie because she followed me and we were at similar sizes, like I said. The fact that anyone may have been abused was not on my mind at all, because why would it be? It was just one YouTuber talking to another. I don't know why people think I'm involved in anything else.
Thank you for the $2, thank you.
One joke about the annoying orange because I didn't want people bothering me has somehow turned into me defending an abuser and being I'm Alex's best friend.
Is that, yeah, that's a little stupid of you. You know, to come to somebody and be like, "I know how to YouTube better than you. You should ask me questions and we should like call and stuff." Honestly, it sounds like he was trying to like flirt. I don't know. I don't want to assume or presume or assume.
Problem?
He might have been
I've been in a relationship now for 2 years.
Oh.
My girlfriend was literally in the room with me as I was on call with Katie, who is also in a relationship. To tell your audience that I might have been trying to flirt with Katiclyzm based on absolute...
What do you think? Was he trying to hit? Was he trying to hit? I don't know that I trust... You can say, I'm in a relationship. That doesn't mean that you aren't trying to hit. That does not mean that you are not trying to hit. You get a job or you already have one. Okay. He probably wasn't trying... Okay, well, I think there's a 30% chance he was trying to hit.
Absolutely fucking nothing is so deeply inappropriate that I can barely believe you thought this would be a good idea to put in your video.
Yeah, this is bad reasoning, but I don't think he was. Yeah.
Not only is it obviously completely false, but much like everything else in this video, it's based on nothing but your own ignorant and uneducated assumptions.
Who cares even if he was? Well, I don't really care. I don't care if he was trying to hit. I'm just wondering, I'm just thinking about whether he was.
I'm very confused.
It's not like a problem. He can try and hit if he wants. I don't hate a player for playing.
The two of you are acting as though you know me personally. We were never friends, I don't know you, and you definitely don't know me. I keep my relationships and my private life as private as I possibly can, and I'm now having to divulge information because of stupid assertions like how I was trying to flirt with Katiclyzm. Does Lewis not understand that it is possible for a man and a woman to interact with each other with no flirting being involved at all?
But if you can't handle the conversation of abuse with some class and decency and some kind of nuance, then you shouldn't be allowed to do it. The reason that these topics do well is because they are interesting and intricate and require nuance. They require an ability to understand it and put yourself in the shoes of the people who suffer and the people who do it. And if you can't do that, you know, when somebody approaches you, you can't even just ignore them. You just make stupid jokes mocking the gaslighting and abuse of a random woman who you might have known.
Okay. My trans mind palace is going crazy. That's getting removed.
Might have not known. Either way, it's fucking weird. I think he did know her. That's the worst part, okay? That's the dumbest part.
Again, I don't know what Katie was telling you, but me and Alice have never even exchanged a word with each other. Just like the idea that I'm flirting with Katie, this is yet another baseless and untrue accusation with the sole purpose of painting me out to look as bad as possible. It's very ironic when you just made the claim that I am unable to handle topics with class, nuance, and decency.
Deleting all the messages too. Oh, that's how you, oh, you fucked up there, buddy. Oh, that was stupid. Saying that and doing that, we have images here of proof that he started deleting messages so that it was harder to read and whatever. Oh, that hurts my head. Okay, I don't understand how you can act this way and then literally type out, yeah, I'm gonna delete this now, mate.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna delete all these now.
I'm gonna stop doing that. I actually didn't want to do it, but now it's growing on me, okay? But you deleting the messages means you understand that people seeing this would ruin your reputation. People seeing this would understand that maybe you don't deserve to be talking about these situations. You have no right, some would say.
I deleted the messages because people
seem what do you mean he has no right? Everyone, you can post whatever you want online. Dude, I hate these people. What do you mean you have no right to talk about these situations? He could literally be the biggest abuser in the world. Honestly, I would rather watch videos about abuse by, like, some guy who smacked his wife over the head with a crowbar than by Lewis Mcclung. I think it would be a more interesting perspective than Lewis Mcclung, the Magic the Gathering playing nerd, desperately trying to be a theater kid in his adult years to appeal to women online.
Messages all the time, and I did not want to be involved in any petty drama. It was not a malicious move, else I wouldn't have warned Katiclyzm that I was about to delete them. Obviously that didn't work, as Katie was screenshotting the conversation in real time, because the purpose of this all, from the beginning, was to entrap me. They have run with a bunch of complete fiction to make it seem as though that I am involved in something that I have no part in, to the point where they are fabricating that I was flirting with Katiclyzm and may have known Alice when we never interacted.
But there are a bunch of clips from his actual literal videos, past or new, that he says just some fucking weird things in. Like this one from Madagascar 2, I think. Sorry, I never saw that one. I just watched
Please double down on the Lola Bunny comment. Please double down. If this guy does not double down on the Lola Bunny comment, I am retracting any and all support I had for DankyJabo.
Movies are infinitely better.
Speaking of whoring out, Gloria from Madagascar is an annoying whore, whose lines consist only of men and ogling men and having sex with men.
Oh my god, you can't just suppress your hate for women for 1 second?
What?
You can't do that. Hold on. So let me get this straight. Being a woman, and then thinking about only men, let's say there is somebody who does that, makes you a whore? Huh? Who made that decision? Hey, who made that rule? Hey, who made that rule? Who made that, like, a normal thing that we all agree with? Oh, that's right, nobody did. That's just a weird fucking thing to say.
Not only did I not say that at all, but to claim that I hate women because of something I said jokingly about a cartoon hippo 3 years ago is ridiculous.
Or maybe this one about Lola Bunny. Just hold on. Just wait till the end of the clip.
Very true, that's what I said.
Give it a second.
Her design is interesting to look at and it's animated very impressively.
Double down. Double down or I am totally anti-Jabo.
Space Jam, especially for the time. And whilst her character at its core is a simple love interest, at least she had a character. In the god-awful sequel, she looks like shit. And I'm not talking about her tits being smaller. I mean, her design as a whole is horrendously ugly and boring to look at.
Her what? What? Ah! Oh, God! Sorry, I had to how to, you know, get that out. You understand. Why must you feel as though you have to make these remarks?
This comment was made.
You have one chance here, okay? Wait. You have one chance here.
Made in response to the weird online discourse that they had nerfed Lola Bunny in Space Jam 2. I was talking about how my criticism for the character went beyond stupid shit like her just being nerfed. Once again, though, for somebody who talks about nuance...
No! 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 Fuck! This guy sucks. This guy sucks, man. Fuck this guy. No, he's saying it's a weird online discourse. Weird online discourse. It's not weird online discourse. It's facts. It's facts. Stop pretending when you saw Space Jam as a kid, you didn't think Lola Bunny was hot. We know you're lying. We know you're pretending. You are desperate. He is kowtowing to the same Emily BLM theater kids that are trying to eat him alive right now. Oh, it's so weird you want to fuck the cartoon rabbit. Shut up! Shut up!
It's incredibly ironic that your evidence for me being a virtue signaler who hates women is something I said about a cartoon rabbit 3 years ago. And I'm not talking about her tits being smaller.
Her what? Ah!
I said the word tits in an old video. Can we be fucking adults here? Like, what are we actually doing? Why is this in your video?
Okay, and these are all, I think, him becoming a drama commentary YouTuber. And I think these videos have since been deleted because, ooh, now 100,000 plus people are gonna see you say this stuff.
He then goes on to say that I deleted those videos, which is once again another lie that can easily be checked just by looking at my channel. The videos are still up because...
Thank you for the $2. Thank you, Nate.
There's nothing wrong with them, other than the fact that they're old and badly made, I guess.
Can't have that. That's not good. But more recently, do you know what he said?
Mannerisms, he's so sassy. To all the girls watching this who like sassy men, if this doesn't get your beef curtains in a twist, then I don't know what will.
So I've been informed that that phrase is a derogatory one rooted in racism and misogyny.
This was a point that was also made by Katiclyzm in her stream about me.
When people insult women by saying their genitals look like roast beef, you're basically saying that the color of their genitals isn't the color that it is in porn. It hasn't been bleached, which is insulting.
Oh, wait. This is when she went on her whole rant about how he might have internalized racism, isn't it? Oh my God.
To so many women, because the only women that are likely to have that color vagina are most likely going to be women of color. It just doesn't really make any sense.
That's not what it's referring to. That's not what it's talking about. Okay.
Pigment on their are white women.
With all due respect, I was raised in Egypt and now live in Scotland. Having spent my whole life as a man of colour, I do not need Mcclung and Katiclyzm
Man of colour. I've never heard man of colour. That's a new one.
What you've both done here is take very obvious jokes out of context and you're deliberately spinning them in bad faith, even going so far as to allege that I'm a racist and that I hate women. Once again, none of you know anything about me and I have no idea why you thought this would be remotely appropriate.
But it's just giving misogyny. Women already have so much pressure on them to have their bodies, you know, live up to the societies of corn, and the beauty standard is insane. When people insult women by saying their genitals look like roast beef...
Was I insulting women by saying that their genitals look like roast beef, or was I ultimately just making a quip that meant nothing? The two even go as far as to assert...
Well, okay. I have to stick up. I have to side with the woman. I have to stick up for the feminist, the rad femme. Obviously, whether you mean it to or not, whether you're like making a conscious, I'm talking about some woman's fucking pussy lips and how disgusting it is right now, or you're just using it. Obviously, the phrase beef curtains. That was it. The phrase beef curtains is meant to create a gross image of a woman's vagina. It is derogatory towards, it is derogatory towards women on a sexual basis. It obviously is, okay? It just is. You can cope and say it's not, but it obviously is.
I have a pornography addiction.
Doesn't mean you can't say it. You can say it, just don't fucking cope and pretend you're not saying something slightly misogynistic.
Insane. When people insult women by saying their genitals look like roast beef...
Was I insulting women by saying that their genitals look like roast beef, or was I ultimately just making a quip that meant nothing? The two even go as far as to assert that I have a pornography addiction.
It's giving porn addict, because a lot of, you know, a lot of society expectations on women now is insane. Like, the way you're, like, meant to look is really based off of pornography. And when you refer to women's genitals like that, it's usually an attempt to insult women.
But the only way you would hear this phrase is apparently through pornography or adult media or anything sexualizing women.
God, I hate that he uses the Scott Pilgrim sound effect for a censor. I hate that he's done that. It's not for you. It's not for you, buddy. It's not for you. That's our thing. That's our media. Not for you, okay? Scott Pilgrim would never make videos crying about someone being friends with someone abusive. He would be too busy fucking teenagers.
Because I, personally, haven't actually heard that terminology ever, okay? I have never heard those words used to describe female genitalia, and apparently that was the point. What? Dude, you can't... You are indirectly and directly showing us the kind of person you are.
Again, like I said, it's used to insult women and insult the appearance of women's genitals in comparison to corn. Like, tell me you've got a problem without telling me.
How on earth could you possibly know this? All I did was use the term beef curtains. I don't understand how it's been spun to...
Yes, Scott is a bad guy. That is a book and a movie about a guy who is pretty kind of an asshole. Kind of fucking sucks. That's kind of the fucking point. So the idea that it's a virtue signaling eunuch, like total Ken doll, shaving off all the edges just to appeal to an audience of women, to farm endless money from Emily BLMs and dyed hair theater kids. It is disgusting. It's despicable. My culture is not your costume. That is for real. That is just facts. I get how black people feel now. This is like feeling racism.
To this level. To be completely honest with you all, this is not something I've ever wanted to talk about on my channel, as I've already mentioned that I like to keep my private life private, but I am literally asexual. So the claims that I'm flirting with Cataclysm, that I have a pornography addiction, that I must engage in incel groups, or whatever Lewis meant by this comment,
or a mindset, or being in these spheres online, or having possibly in the past been in these spheres, it adds to this idea that he might have or still be in the mindset of somebody who is misogynistic, whether it's on purpose or not.
Is all so insulting and untrue. All of these videos are based on tearing me down based on nothing but pure assumptions.
And is it pink reference while talking about Smart Schoolboy 9 is a choice when for most women it's only pink pre-puberty, most certainly a choice? Exactly.
Not only did I never even say anything about anything being pink, but Katie is now just insinuating that I was somehow referencing anything to do with pedophilia or underage girls, which is incredibly insulting, obviously incorrect, and seriously damaging. And what's worse is that in Lewis's video where I'm criticized for being a misogynist who hates women for 3 meaningless jokes, 2 of which were 3 years ago, Lewis makes this joke.
That sounds like you're willingly let somebody manipulate you, but that might just be me. Oh, you gave me my career, but you're going to exploit me for something because of it? Yes, because you owe me. Every woman in Hollywood ever.
So me saying the word tits 3 years ago means that I hate women, but you're allowed to make a joke about all women in Hollywood allowing themselves to be willfully manipulated. This is an
yeah, Harvey Weinstein's victims kind of asking. Okay. Don't know what Lewis Mcclung was playing at that. No idea what Bud was playing at then.
Definitely more misogynistic and offensive thing to say than anything that the two of you ever accused me of. But I'm not going to do what you did and call you a misogynist, because it was clearly a joke. Here is another bit of apparent evidence for my hatred of women from the Papa Gut stream.
A lack of nuance. Apparently in one of his videos he said that a woman cannot be beautiful if she is a mother. Apparently that's what he said.
Here's the clip of this joke that they're talking about for everyone wondering. Hey, says Santos. What's good, says Brianna Olsen. I'm sure this is some riveting conversation here. For everyone still in school who thinks that adults just grow this magical power to be more social or more extroverted, I don't know, maybe I've just not had that patch delivered to me yet, but I mean, it seems as though it's wrong based on this alone. To be fair, one of them is an actual child, and this is how year 8s flirt. This is like their sexy talk, I guess. Except Brianna Olsen is a mother, so there's nothing sexy about it. It's very obvious to everybody watching the video that I was not saying mothers could not be attractive, but was in fact making fun of this one in particular for bragging about flirting with a 19-year-old boy. And what's worse is that Lewis goes on to admit that he's never even seen the clip.
I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, totally out of context. He was not insulting mothers. He was saying that this one was being creepy. It was creepy because she's a mother. However, he was moral flagging. He was crying about some single mother hitting up a 19-year-old male, which is very lame. Who cares?
Exactly what he
said. Did you see him say it?
Yeah.
That guy was hag-maxing. Problem?
No, I have not watched the video yet.
So I guess this explains why he's so uneducated about everything he talks about. Because he doesn't bother educating himself. The guy's research when he decides to call someone out publicly is fucking YouTube comments that he's pinned. Yeah, man, you definitely have all the nuance needed to talk about these topics.
And again, it's such a minor thing from him. Do I think that makes him a terrible person? Again, no. But it's comments like that that come from him, as well as like a plethora of other comments that he's made that just come across that he is very... I want to say slightly misogynistic, and I'm not throwing that term around loosely. I do think a lot of...
Also, guys, now is a great time, okay? Now is a great time. 330 people here, 115 likes on stream, guys. Okay, great time to remind you that I need support, okay? It's hard out here. It's hard out here for people like me. Real stone cold... I don't want to say incel because I know that's sort of like a trigger word for extremism stuff online sometimes. But I'm a real cold-blooded, trigger-pulling, like, you know, something. So fill in the blanks there, really. And it's hard out here because eunuchs, Kendalls, like Lewis Mcclung, are the ones that get popular. That's what people want to see. They want to see eunuchs. They want to see people who pretend to be totally fake, have no problems, not be a complete unhinged maniac. Okay, so for real trigger pulling crazy motherfuckers like me, real ass white boys with some shit to say, it's rough out here. So, guys, I come to you again asking for financial support. In the pin chat message, there is a Stream Elements link. This allows you to donate directly. Huge cut. I get a huge cut. There's almost like no amount that I lose in Stream Elements dono. So that's an amazing way to dono. Okay, guys, first of all. Now, I understand not everyone wants to use Stream Elements. Some people prefer the convenience of YouTube. So there's several ways to support me through YouTube, okay? So I'm going to run through those with you now. First of all, memberships. You should purchase a recurring membership to the channel if you can. It's a great way to support. Creates a baseline, funds coming in. Always great stuff. Epic stuff. We love it. You can also gift memberships, though. This is also awesome, okay? So you can gift either one or... Thank you for the £2. Thank you, that kid Gucci. So you can gift either one or €2. Sorry, I misread that. You can gift either one or multiple memberships. This shill is too long. The longer shills are actually more effective, I think you'll find. One membership, multiple memberships, 5, 10. It's amazing. You can gift them just a whole bunch at a time. You can also buy super chats to highlight a message and have it read out on TTS if the donation amount is over $5. Very important stuff. Super chats are great. We love super chats here. You can also buy super stickers, which are YouTube image or GIFs that are highlighted in chat, and then I describe it to you. I'll read out or say what is shown in the image or GIF that you put in chat with a monetary value attached. If you want to keep up with the stream, okay, you can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. You donated, Raw? Did you actually? You're a bit of a troll, aren't you? I'm checking Stream Elements. You lied. You lied, Raw. Thank you though for the donos, guys. Okay, let's get into this.
Of the things he says, he may not hate women per se, but when he makes comments like that, and again, the mother comment about how mothers can't be sexy, again, I don't know if the context is fully there for that, so I won't go too much.
It's so funny that you are both so confident in calling me a misogynist in your videos, but when somebody simply asks you to explain why I'm a misogynist, you can't do it. The reason that these two are struggling so much to answer a question that...
Thank you for the $10, Nate. Thank you. Captain Butt Pirate is straight A straight pretending to be zesty, yas queening, an angry feminist with a look here sign in her chest as she attacks a dude chat. Thank you for the $10. That's not a very nice comment, but I appreciate the money. Thank you, Nate, so much. And thank you for the 5 gifted. Frida Freddy. Thank you. Frida Ferdy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That should be easy considering how confident they were, is because there's no evidence for it. Apart from 3 jokes, I guess, that you've taken out of context. This is why neither of you bring up the Gloria or Lola Bunny bullshit in this Papa Gut stream, because you know how silly you'd look if you did.
And that's the thing, he may not intend. But I would disagree. I think it was previously a more accepted term. Now it's more derogatory because of things like porn, because of the standards to women's genitalia. So I do think, especially maybe it's just not a part of the internet that you're on, but there is already so much discourse about the appearance of women's parts. And always in a negative way as well.
Oh,
so
are you trying to say that like the whole beef curtain thing is him saying that that's like an ugly vagina? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, well, that's if you ever see people online, and again, it's because of the side of the internet I'm on because I talk about porn a lot. But if you ever see that term, it is always used as a way to insult the way a woman's vagina looks.
All I did was say the word beef curtains. I seriously don't understand how it's come to this level. Just using the term means nothing, or else all 3 of you would be raging misogynists. The context is so clearly jokey and not derogatory. The 2 of you are only latching onto it this much because there's no actual evidence of me being a misogynist, but for some reason, you would really want me to be.
Obviously, they use it in other terms, usually in kind of joking ways, so maybe that was a joke.
What do you mean, maybe it was a joke? Do you think that I randomly paused my video on Smart Schoolboy 9 to criticize women for not having porn star vaginas? You know that it was a joke. It's so obvious.
It's not necessarily that that's...
Okay, this is bad reasoning, I feel like. This is really bad reasoning.
It is always used as a way to insult the way a woman's vagina looks.
All I did was say the word beef curtains. I seriously don't understand how it's come to this level. Just using the term means nothing, or else all 3 of you would be raging misogynists. The context is so clearly jokey and not derogatory. The 2 of you are only latching onto it this much because there's no actual evidence of me being a misogynist.
Yeah, exactly. The joke is that the term is derogatory. That's part of the joke, right? It has to be derogatory for the joke to really work. It's meant to be like a shock thing, right? Yeah, this is terrible reasoning. Whatever.
But for some reason, you would really want me to be.
Obviously, they use it in other terms, usually in kind of joking ways. So maybe that was a joke.
What do you mean, maybe it was a joke? Do you think that I randomly paused my video on Smart Schoolboy 9 to criticize women for not having porn star vaginas? You know that it was a joke. It's so obvious.
It's not necessarily that standing alone is the biggest issue, right? If that is the only thing he had done, we would not be here. It's the fact that it is on top of everything else, and in a vacuum it wouldn't do anything, but in this room with all of these different things that point towards him having a misogynistic tone or a mindset, or being in these spheres online, or having possibly in the past been in these spheres, it adds to this idea that he might have or still be in the mindset of somebody who is misogynistic, whether it's on purpose or not. And it's seeping into his content. That is what this kind of points towards. And it is still an issue if he doesn't, you know, like, acknowledge that that is a derogatory term, and using it to refer to people is not necessarily a good thing.
You can't just say shit like that and provide no other evidence or examples. If there's other clips that prove that I'm a misogynist, then talk about them. You can't just levy these accusations against me and genuinely provide nothing, but here's another clip of them doing just that.
People like Katiclyzm talked about it in their videos, specifically because she was somebody who was censored by him. But if you want to hear about that, definitely go watch the live stream that she still has posted to this day, because, you know, she still very much stands by this information, as do I. But it's important to know that he also censors in different ways. Like, for instance, apparently at the start of one of his videos, he said to his audience to comment down below as if he had done something terrible, because Katiclyzm had just released in stories on her Instagram about what he was saying and what he was doing. So to cover it up, he would censor those like Katiclyzm who were actually talking about what he was actually doing, and then he would just ignore anything else that seemed like it would actually call him out, because everybody else was just following what he asked them to do, which is borderline manipulative and honestly insane.
Again, another baseless accusation. I just thought it would be a funny joke. That's it.
If you
yeah, I don't think I buy that. I don't think I buy that. That's the obvious easy out. That is the obvious easy out. Yeah, show us another example you making that joke.
Proudly wore this on your chest, okay? If you were like, yeah, I'm still friends with Alex, yeah, you know what? And that's
well, yeah, it's obviously not censorship, but he's just like bullshitting to kind of dodge, right? It's not censorship, but he obviously was trying to, I think, well, not obviously, but I think he was trying to cover up the fact that there might be people talking shit about him for something she was posting. I think he was trying to astroturf it, I think.
You guys can hate me for that. If you did that, I would actually still have a little bit of respect for you. But the fact that you're running away from all of it, acting like you get to do this stuff and hide from it, even though you did it. You made all these decisions. You don't have to be friends with an abuser, but you chose to do so, and you want to hide it from your fans so that they don't know the kind of person you are? Dude.
I didn't do anything or make all of these decisions. You've completely made up the idea that I'm friends with an abuser. Why would I need to answer for that? There's no lying by omission, as you state in this video.
And to lie to them? To manipulate them, to avoid the truth. Maybe not so much lie, but to silence the truth.
Thank you, Ayumi. Thank you for the tier 2 membership. Hugely appreciated. Thank you.
Truth? It might as well be lying.
I'm being truthful by not talking about it because there is nothing to talk about. I had already told Katiclyzm in our call that I wasn't friends with him. I don't understand what else you want from me here.
Dude, just be truthful. Like, for instance, he made an Onision video, okay, that got taken down, flagged or whatever, and it basically almost took down his channel in his own words. Not to flex, but could never be me. Mine's still up. It's one of my biggest videos ever, you know? I don't mean to flex too hard, man. But in the wake of this, he, 1, reposted the video, and 2, to support him for working on reposting this video and whatnot, he made a Patreon, okay? So that people who wanted to support him in the wake of this minor devastation could. And this would also grant you access to a members-only Discord channel where you could talk with him and all of his other fans and whatnot about him and nothing but him. Whatever, right? But then Katiclyzm released her video, and people started talking, and a lot of them started asking him questions about the situation. And you know what he did? He fucking deleted it all. Dude, I gotta get out of I gotta get the fuck out of here. Honestly, if I made a Patreon, I'd probably be like, what's the minimum you can do? Like a cent? Is that something you can do? When people start asking you questions and your first response is to be like, get rid of it all. I can't handle this. I can't handle this policing and drama. Dude, if your audience, the only thing that makes you who you are on the internet, says, hey man, I don't mean to be a jackass, but why are you being a jackass? And your first response is, shut up, you can't ask me questions.
Fuck the fans, fuck the fans, fuck the fans, fuck the fans. Where's the Keemstar rant? Fuck the fans.
Get that, I'm deleting it all. You're gonna ruin my career. You don't deserve to have that career if you can't handle the stuff you cover in real life with some amount of class.
Once again, more assumptions. Here's the message that I left on my Discord before I took my Patreon down. There was simply no reason to have a Patreon anymore considering how much income my channel was generating, and that's something that I am genuinely grateful for. But it really is just that simple. I don't know why everything I do is now somehow linked to this situation that is ultimately about nothing. It's also very interesting to me that you act so high and mighty about the fact that if you were to ever start a Patreon, you would only charge your fans 1 cent because you're that much of a nice guy.
Honestly, if I made a Patreon, I'd probably be like, what's the minimum you can do? Like a cent? Is that something you can do?
But you literally have channel memberships that start at £3 a month. Like, that's fine. Have channel memberships. It's whatever, but who's the virtue signaler here exactly?
And nuance. See, because what you lack is nuance. Being wrong is the quickest path to being right. Admitting your wrongs is the quickest path back to being a good person. Righting your wrongs, confessing your wrongs, being true to the people who support you and give you a job and a rent and a career, okay? That is what gives you anything.
There is no nuance in perpetuating a story about me when there is no proof at all.
What you lack?
Well, you have to answer questions. You have to be beholden to your audience. No, you put content online. People support you if they want to. You're not beholden to them. That's not how it works, dude. This is such a cancerous YouTube-only mindset. I think any celebrity feels beholden to their fans. Any musician feels beholden to their fans. Any TV presenter feels beholden to their fans. No, this is like such a weird YouTube-only mindset that the consumers in the market like own you, basically.
Nuance.
It's incredibly hypocritical of you to claim that I lack the nuance to run my channel and that you have all the nuance, class, decency, empathy, and intelligence necessary to put yourself in the shoes of others and cover whatever topics you like. Where exactly was the nuance when you started off your videos on rape accusations and attempted murder with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure edits?
Wow.
Couple of meaningless jokes that I made 3 years ago somehow prove that I'm a raging misogynist and I don't deserve a career. But you're able to start your video off on rape accusations like this, and that's all fine and dandy.
Audience member, my beautiful audience members, those who I cherish more than any earthly possession I have, because without you, I would have nothing.
You can't cherish or respect your audience that much if you're this willing to lie to their faces about another creator that you share that audience with. To call me a virtue signaler and talk to your audience like this is incredibly ironic.
So this is my proposition to you, you nuance-lacking goblin. Come on my show. Come on here. I will interview you unbiasedly. I will ask you questions. That is what I will do, okay? I'm offering you this proposition. I will interview you. If
this
you
guy sucks so bad.
For
Holy
clearing
shit.
your name, if there is really a way to clear your name, because you really need to clear this up. Your audience, above all.
You really need to address. This. This is a really bad look. You need to address this.
Deserves the truth from you.
You cannot make a video with baseless accusations and big lies to try and scare me into doing an interview for your YouTube channel. Who do you actually think you are? Offering me an interview as though you're doing me a favor when you've just lied about me for 20 minutes in front of 300,000 people. If you genuinely cared about this, you would not be trying to get a YouTube video out of it and turn it into a public display. And what you claim to have been attempts to keep this private are similarly fictitious. You say to Papa Gut on stream that you had tried to keep this private by messaging me and that I had blatantly ignored you.
It's important to hold yourself accountable for these things, and he's not letting anybody reach him about it. I even messaged him directly and he ignored it. So when you do that, it honestly feels like a kind of just like really idiotic thing to do.
You had left a comment on my channel and messaged me on Instagram one day before you decided to put your hit. You had left a comment on my channel and messaged me on...
We need to talk. I have some very important questions you're probably going to want to answer. You have to respond to the situation involving you. Dude. You should never respond to a message like this. Fuck that.
Instagram one day before you decided to put your hit piece out on me. I hadn't even seen the notification that I had even been messaged by you until after your video was already out. But even if I had seen and responded to your message in time, the fact that your video was out so soon after tells...
What's this Augie tweet? Was Augie in the chat? Is that what happened? Over the last 3 hours, I turned every single member of Lewis Mcclung's 3,000 viewer chat against him one by one, including his dommy mommy he simped for and spread false allegations with. Wait, did Katiclyzm turn on him? Now he is openly admitting on stream that he doesn't know what to do. On the next stream, I'm going to dive deep into what got him into this disaster. See, Augie is look, I have said before, okay? You guys go after Augie. You guys get so mad when Augie comes up, some of you. You act like he's just as bad as every other commentary guy. He's actually slightly better. He's actually better than the rest of them. And we know this. And you guys may not have been here. I'm not sure if you were here. We know he's better than a lot of the other ones because Augie is based and red-pilled and 4 feet tall. Because he did this. It's about Tommy C in Nick Diorio's live chat. Kuihman said you, him, and Chud talk about this a lot. I mean, I talk about Tommy C behind the scenes a lot too, so it would make sense.
Me that you already had your mind made up. In fact, the reason that you probably don't bring up the fact that you messaged me in your video is because it was probably recorded before you even messaged me. To give me 1 day to respond to you and assume that if I don't respond, I must be a misogynistic abuse apologist is horrendously unfair. And even in these messages, you show the same level of ego and self-importance that you do in the video, claiming that we need to talk, that I'm required to answer your questions, and that I have to talk about the situation involving me. There is no situation, and we had exchanged like like 10 messages before this. We're not friends at all, and I don't even know you. So whatever gave you the impression that you had the right to speak to me like this is beyond me. I do not have to talk about anybody or do anything that you want. I make YouTube videos, and that's that. I will not let any of you bully me into doing what you like. I would have been perfectly cordial if you had spoken to me like a normal person, but you didn't. And by the way, neither did Katiclyzm. From the moment I ignored her offer to join call with her and her friends, she had begun randomly messaging me unwarranted, hateful messages whenever she felt like it. Not only that, but she was also hearting comments on her YouTube channel that accused me of being a potential sexual assaulter. The fact that either of you act as though you were trying to be fair at any point, that you were trying to be respectful at any point, is honestly laughable.
This video about Jesse, I wanted to make it still with a little respect in my heart for him as a human.
Painting me out as a potential sexual assaulter goes beyond just hearting comments though. Katiclyzm even justifies her harassment towards me as putting a stop to my future abuse, comparing me to her ex-boyfriend who she said had poured boiling water over her, and telling people that if she didn't put a stop to me now, that I could end up like this.
But in all seriousness, guys, you know, this type of behavior is only the beginning. You know, I've seen more often than not when stuff is just surface level, it gets worse and worse, you know? And I just want to remind people, and this isn't a pity party, but I've made a video before about this. I've been in a relationship with someone for 2 years who abused me. And I saw it progressively get worse and worse, you know? You start off not very nice, a little bit angry, a lot of apologies. You end the relationship having boiling water thrown down your front, being called every word under the sun, being thrown to the ground, multiple terrible things happening to you. And how did it start? With the little things. It always starts off small, and it's not something that people should think when, because if you say, oh, don't call them out for that small thing, then you're implying that small things should just be let go. When it comes to women and abuse, no, small things shouldn't be.
I hope I don't need to explain how genuinely horrific an allegation like this is when the only piece of evidence that you have is an annoying orange joke and a follow on Instagram. I am very sorry that this happened to you, Katie, but it is simply not an excuse for you to levy these baseless accusations against me.
I said, I'm asking you.
No way, hit with the, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's crazy.
Questions privately before I ask them publicly. So here, ladies and gentlemen, we have an example of me giving him a pretty good chance to even just explain himself. I'm not saying that I would have been his friend if he had. I would have still thought that you are an ignorant idiot, okay? But I wanted to give him the chance to explain, because who knows, there could have been something going on there.
This is not you giving me a chance to explain myself. This is just a threat. Why would I want to engage with you after finding out that you're screenshotting messages in real time and are now threatening me? It's very clear here that you do not have good intentions. I just don't understand what
that is
makes
true.
me guilty of. I'm being witch hunted for my previous employment. We were never close. In fact, you literally make the claim that he would regularly shit talk me.
And I also want to add a really hilarious addition to this situation, which makes it the fucking icing on the cake. Alex used to chat shit about Jesse, and I mean, he would criticize his work, he would say he was shit, he said all sorts. He said that his work was just terrible. Like, it's insane. Like, you're defending someone, Jesse, that didn't like you and was two-faced to you.
You even messaged me this saying you should do a video on the shit talking Alex used to do about you. Content idea for you. But just one message previous, you say that it's blindingly obvious the two of us were close. Based on what? An annoying orange joke. I literally apologize.
Dude, what are these
to you
messages?
For you. But just one thing you should do is previous, you say shit talking Alex used to do about you. Content idea for you. But just one message.
You're actually unbelievable. I hope you sleep well at night knowing how much of a hypocrite you are. Can we recall the Discord call where you literally talk about the respect you still have for Alex? I respect how you cover up calling people out. It's so blindingly obvious you two are close. Here's my thing. Being fair, what this does do for me is this does lend some credence to her retelling of the call, because we've got her back here as early as the 19th of November saying that this detail was a thing. She's obviously trying to get him to confirm that in DMs. So this detail has stayed consistent. The idea that he said he still has respect for Alex, which again, I think it's fine if you've got offline respect for someone for something they've done, even if they've done terrible things in another aspect of their life. That's a totally understandable position to be in. But I don't like the lying.
previous, you say that it's blindingly obvious the two of us were close. Based on
if
what?
It's lying.
An annoying orange joke. I literally apologized to you about that joke on call as well. Even though Lewis is claiming that I just hung up and ran away. And on this Papa Gut stream, he says that if I had just apologized privately, none of this ever would have happened.
Continued to deflect and ignore and lie to cover up that initial incident, when that initial incident wouldn't have become such a big issue if he had just addressed it when everybody asked him to. Right? When, like, to those people, not even publicly, right? If he had just apologized privately, this never would have been a situation, but he continued to make it a problem, right? He created this giant cascading event that could have been avoided by him just being less of a, you know, weirdo about it.
I don't know what Katie told you about the call that we had, but I did apologize privately to her in this call about the screenshots. I said it was really dumb to respond in the way I did and that I should have ignored it. She even goes on to admit this later on in the stream.
One-on-one, when we had this phone call, he admitted that it was wrong. I don't know if that was reiterated in the video that you just watched, but he told me he shouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
And that he should have taken it more seriously.
And even on the pinned comment she wrote on the stream about me, she says that I had indeed apologized for the screenshot. Despite this, Lewis says that all I needed to do was apologize in private, and none of this would have happened. I did apologize for the message privately, and it ended up meaning nothing. I don't know what else was expected or wanted from me. It seems as though no matter what I had done, you would have found a way to justify that I don't deserve a career, and that your harassment towards me is necessary.
Let's say it was just a needless joke, okay? He's still deleted messages. He still had to apologize for it in private.
So in a few minutes, we've gone from, if he had apologized in private, none of this ever would have happened, to, well, actually, he did apologize in private, but that's exactly why this has to happen. Because his apology is proof that he's guilty and deserves what he's getting from us. What you're basically saying here is that no matter what I would have done, I would have been fucked. If I don't apologize, then I'm running away from it all, but if I do apologize, I'm somehow admitting to defending and supporting abuse. I really appreciate the class, nuance.
I'm sorry, but literally, even if he was still friends with Alex, that is not defending or supporting abuse. It's so stupid, man. I wish, and there's no one else covering this. I didn't see Chud's coverage, to be fair. No one else I've seen covering this has really fought on this point, that you can be friends with whoever you want. I'm sorry, but just because someone does something bad doesn't mean they have to not be your friend anymore, otherwise you're defending them. You can call out your friends. You can take clear moral stance on your friend's behavior and say it's fucked up and wrong and try to hold them accountable for it and still be their friend.
You hear, Lewis.
What you lack is nuance.
Both you and Katiclyzm talk constantly about how you're the perfect YouTubers, how unlike everybody else, you have no skeletons in your closet, and so you don't need to live in constant fear of being exposed.
I don't have anything about me that anybody can expose. I don't plan on doing anything terrible, and it means that I can come online and equally judge people. Anybody that can't or say they can't talk about stuff is usually because they have stuff to hide themselves, or they're panicking because they're somehow linked.
Do you know what it feels like?
No, we hate the ginger guy.
Commentary YouTubers dropping like flies. It worries me. Because, personally, I don't have any skeletons in my closet. I've had a very boring life, okay? I've been a straight edge kid. I've been a, you know, I was in one musical. You know, I didn't have many friends. I kind of just watched
We can
shows,
tell. We know.
didn't shower enough.
We
as a
know,
child.
buddy.
You know, I was a very cloistered individual. Like, I didn't do anything, okay? But that kind of makes me the perfect YouTuber in a way, even though my life kind of sucked and I suffered with a lot of depression because
No,
of
it doesn't. It makes you an awful YouTuber. It makes you awful to anyone with an IQ above fucking 60 or who's not like a total drone woman just looking for the least threatening guy to deliver them the slop takes about whatever the latest abuse or pedophilia situation is. Okay? You are the I promise I won't rape you. I promise I won't rape you guy incarnate. Okay? You suck. Zero experience, zero knowledge. Zero interesting perspective. You suck.
Somehow, I still worry that I'm going to be involved with some person and they're going to turn out to be terrible.
Another reason why people like Alex get away with it for so long is that people have dirt on each other. The reason why I'm able to make this video, and potentially not many other people, is because I've done absolutely nothing wrong with my time online.
What about when you made a video on a transgender woman that was so ignorant and transphobic that you had to delete it? Your first video on Lily Tino is now only available on Papa Gut's stream VOD now, because you deleted the original. I'm not even criticizing you for doing so, because the original...
Based? Do we need to look into this? Can Katiclyzm still win us over? Do we need to look into this drama?
was genuinely offensive. But it's just very ironic considering how much you're criticizing me from running away from my issues and hiding stuff from my audience.
I said last time I covered this, I was like, I don't know how you accept all the basic radfem talking points, but still stay pro-trans. And someone told me she was very pro-trans. Now I'm wondering maybe she's hiding her power a little bit. Maybe she's... Yeah, welcome back to the team, Cataclysm. Okay.
I just want to also say, on behalf of Alice, like, she's had so many absolute idiots come online and exploit the situation, leak DMs she didn't want to be leaked, and just genuinely be insensitive.
That's about Samuel. I think that's about Samuel.
Do you not realize that you are literally leaking private DMs as you complain about people leaking private DMs? Not only did you leak everything on your stories and on this stream, but you even leaked it to Louis Mcclung and later admitted that you were recording the call between us.
I understand that. Did you happen to record the
Sadly, have to remove that message.
The really annoying thing is I did. And I had it on my computer for a really long time. My boyfriend edits my videos and it was on an SD card. I'm trying to figure out how to retrieve it. But then when I've spoken to people about like whether I'd be able to like, you know, release it, it's a different story because I didn't tell him I was recording.
And the only reason you hadn't posted this recording yet is because you were scared of being sued, which you admitted in this tweet. Because obviously you were doing it all without my knowledge or consent.
Tell him I was recording.
And the only reason you hadn't posted this recording yet is because you were scared of being sued, which you admitted.
Being a content creator is knowing you want to expose some people so bad, but you know their ass is going to sue you, so you're forced to sit silently. No, it's not. I'll do it. I got your back at every step, and this is the girl I'm Alex abused, who also hit him.
In this tweet.
Not that means she was abusing him, but she did hit him twice. I think that's important to mention.
You were doing it all without my knowledge or consent. Cataclysm even says that we had a nice conversation where I gave her good advice about YouTube.
But when I asked him explicitly, because he reached out to me and he seemed nice, to be fair, like he was friendly to me. He was okay. He explained a lot about like...
Yo, thank you for $5, Rad Destroyer. Thank you.
What I should do differently on YouTube, but it's kind of like a little bit irrelevant.
How this has been spun into me trying to flirt and mansplain how to be a better YouTuber for 2.5 hours and then run away when the screenshot was brought up.
Mansplaining problem?
Is insane to me. Forgive me for trying to make friends in the space and being nice. Trust me, I won't be making that mistake again. To claim that I'm running away from you or the situation is also ridiculous. Because I'm not being funny, Katie, but why the fuck would I ever...
I'm asking you questions privately before I ask them publicly. And we saw these.
Respond to messages like these ones. Cataclysm is threatening me, bullying me, and in her stream about me, the majority of it is like insulting me.
You've never seen a vagina in real life, have you, Jesse? That's all I'm gonna say.
Alongside baseless accusations with no actual substance. This was never going to be a fair...
Who hurt you, sweetie? Incel? Who hurt you, sweetie? Incel? Sweetie?
Conversation. She even says on the Papa Gut stream that she never intended to make any of this public, but then on that very same stream admits that she was recording the call without my knowledge or consent.
And I wasn't planning on talking about it publicly.
If you were never planning to make this a public thing, why were you recording the call that we had? Why were you threatening to make this public? And why were you excitedly tweeting out about how much you wanted to expose me? Just a reminder, by the way, that Lewis was accusing me of being weird because I wanted to call. If we had to pick who was being weird here, is it me for trying to have a casual conversation with another YouTuber?
This is this is, I don't like any of these people. None of them are honest. None of them are honest. This DankyJabo guy has engaged in some very bad reasoning. I think some sweeping a little bit here, trying to cover his tracks a little. However, the other side is pretty bad too with the dishonesty, it seems. This is the thing though. This is slop YouTube. None of them can be real. None of them can be real. This thing again. I have to shill again. Real ass white boys with some shit to say are the most oppressed people online. Comedy males. Raped, killed, dead in gutters, left and right. Okay? So it's very important, guys, that you like the stream. You can donate directly through the stream elements link in the pinned chat message. Okay? You can buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat. Buy a super chat, which will highlight a message to read it on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or gift that we highlight in chat and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you.
one who was literally planning to entrap me over nothing from the start. There was never an attempt to get the truth or anything of the sort. This was always about trapping me and ending my career because I made a joke about the annoying orange. I thought we were having a casual conversation.
Very short, 45 minutes ago, must he pay for new rival skins? I forget how long it is. Look, shields are very inconsistent. The timing is not good, okay?
I had no idea that I was being recorded whilst I was being interrogated about my former employment and my former boss, whom I have no involvement with. As far as I'm concerned, I made a stupid joke because I was annoyed that people were messaging me about my former boss.
I should set alarms on my phone.
Been blown to this scale over
Chill
one
alarms.
throwaway joke that I didn't think much of at the time is terrifying. The two of you constantly talk about how you don't want to cancel me.
That I'm not intending to cancel him. I've spoke about this before. I don't particularly believe in cancel culture. It's kind of cringe. It defeats the whole purpose of holding people accountable because it just is ridiculous most of the time.
I only wish what he has brought on himself. Okay, his own decisions. I don't want him to be canceled. I don't want him to lose a job. I don't want him to be thrown off the face of the earth or sent into a pit or whatever. What I want is for him to tell his audience the truth and stop lying to them.
I don't even think necessarily that Jesse, DankyJabo should just disappear offline and never return.
Let's be honest. If you didn't want to cancel me, you would not have approached me in the way that you did. You would not have made this many baseless accusations against me that do not accurately represent the conversations that took place between us. You wouldn't excitedly be tweeting about how much you wanted to expose me, and you wouldn't be saying shit like this on stream.
And it makes me feel like sad. Like I just want to like log into his channel and delete it. Like it needs to be deleted.
I don't know about you, but those do not sound like the words of somebody who doesn't want me cancelled.
This video about Jesse, I wanted to make it still with a little respect in my heart for him as a human, right? He needs to live, he needs to make money, right? That's why I make it clear I don't want to end his career. That's not at all my prerogative.
Was it respectful when...
I mean, they all say this stuff, but it's like, oh, I don't want to end his career. I'm just desperately trying to tear him apart. I'm just making videos tearing him apart as a misogynist and abuse supporter. I'm not trying to cancel him, though. I think he's an abuse supporter and shouldn't be online.
Katiclyzm recorded a call without my knowledge or consent? Was it respectful when you uploaded a video on me giving me only 1 day to respond during the holidays? Was it...
Let's all dono before there's an ad break every 5 minutes.
Thank you for the $9.99, King Jones. Thank you. Hugely appreciate it. Thank you.
Respectful when you baselessly accused me of cheating on my girlfriend by flirting with Katiclyzm? Was it respectful when you took 2 jokes I made 3 years ago about cartoon characters as proof that I'm a misogynist? Was it respectful when you told your audience that I was spreading racist rhetoric because of what was once again a harmless joke? Both of you have been anything but respectful. You have both tried to bully me into making an apology and levied your audiences against me. These lies and baseless accusations have been greatly damaging not just to my YouTube channel, but also to my personal life. And it's all based on pure conjecture, which is very ironic considering that you guys accuse me of trying to manipulate my audience when I have done everything to try and avoid being dragged into this petty gossip and drama. It's very clear to me that we had a very different upbringing and come from 2 very different parts of the world. To put jokes in your video that you know were jokes and use them to label me as a misogynist...
Guys, he grew up in Egypt, guys. He doesn't understand what beef curtains means.
As spreading racist rhetoric and as an abuse apologist, I don't think I need to even explain how ridiculous that is at this point. This is my one and only response. We'll be right back to making normal videos now.
Wow. Wow. Cinema. Wow. Cinema. Terrible video. Dog shit video. Terrible, awful video. Reasoning was awful. Had some okay evidence. Didn't double down on the load of bunny thing. Totally bitched out.